Hello everyone, this is Blairbot, and today I will be bringing you my Legend of Zelda collection. So this is unscripted, as they all are, which means that anything can happen, so let's see. So I thought I would just go in order in terms of first game to newest game. So the first game is of course Zelda 1. Now, I don't own an original copy of it, but I do have the Zelda Collector's Edition, which comes with Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina, and Majoras. Now, this technically already breaks the order because I'm already showing other games, but this is one way I own it. And then this is the other way I own it on the 3DS. So as you can see, I have a little Zelda folder there. We'll be getting to those games eventually. Guess while I'm at it, I can show you the second Zelda game, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, while I'm here because I kind of have a chance to talk about them at the same time. I only beat Zelda 2 for the first time not too long ago, but to be honest, it's not one of my favorite Zelda games. Zelda 1 is pretty fun. Even when playing it back, there's a lot of exploration, and just for Zelda 2, I think that the different gameplay style throws me off a little bit, but let's move on. Next we have A Link to the Past, which is, I know, a lot of people's favorite Zelda game. This was actually my first Zelda game that I ever played. Was the Game Boy Advance version. I do have a lot of fond memories with this game. I find that replaying it nowadays, it still holds up really well. A lot of the shortcuts and secrets and music and just puzzles and all that is really quite good. Yeah, I don't actually have the Game Boy Advance one because a lot of my friends had it at the time. Definitely a good game. Okay, so I'm sorry if I didn't have a lot to talk about with those other games, but starting now I will. So next game we have is Ocarina of Time. Here's the cartridge, and I do have the box. So here is the original one, and then we have Ocarina of Time 3D, and then we have the soundtrack from Club Nintendo. I actually didn't realize how much Ocarina of Time stuff I had, but of course we already mentioned it's on this as well. We have this eShop card, that's a limited edition Ocarina of Time picture, and here's the code. I used it, so you can't, but feel free to try. And then we have the guide, which I don't know if that's even going to fit on the screen, but there's Linky Poo. But not just the guide for the original, also the guide for the 3D version, which again is not going to fit on the screen. And finally, our Ocarina of Time Link amiibo. There he is. So yes, if I have an amiibo from the game, I'll show that off as well. Okay, so Ocarina of Time was a game which the first time I played it, I didn't really like it a whole lot, to be honest. I thought it was good, but I got to the Forest Temple and then got stuck and then stopped playing it. But the next time I played through it, I was like, whoa, how did I ever find this boring? I can see why it's a lot of people's favorite Zelda game, especially if you were alive when it came out, which was I? Well, I wasn't old enough when it came out anyway. I know why people love it basically, but I would not say it's my favorite. But let's move on. Next up we have Majora's Mask, which this is not the collector's edition, this is the regular one. They're all gold, but the collector's has the little holographic thing, and Majora's Mask 3D. If you've seen my other collection videos, you would have seen some of these already, including the Skull Kid box. So yes, this, as you can see, says not for resale because it came with this Skull Kid figure, which is very cool. Majora's Mask soundtrack as well from Club Nintendo. I'll put that there. And we have our Majora's Mask Link amiibo. Woohoo! Happy to have this. Looks quite nice. This is a game which I find the original is good, but the 3D remake is really good. All the problems I had with the original were fixed in the 3D remake, but the whole time aspect of the game where it makes the world feel lived in is very It's very unique and I like it a lot. And it's not perfect, but definitely when I was trying to decide which of the two N64 Zelda games I like more, but then once I played Majora's Mask 3D, it basically answered that question for me. And this is also on the collector's edition as well, which it's already buried and stuff. So next up we have the Wind Waker, which some of you might know is my favorite Zelda game. Well, probably my favorite. I'll talk about that in a second. We also have the HD version here, which came in this Ganondorf collectible figurine, who's right over here. Say hi, Ganondorf. And we also have Smash Bros. Toon Link amiibo. Very nice. And we also have the Toon Link and Zelda amiibo. So you'll notice some of the amiibo I open and some I don't. I don't really know what my rule is. Honestly, I think if it's worth anything, I probably don't open it immediately. Man, this setup is just not good today, is it? Oh baby. So most of the time in this video is just me making little setups here. That's okay. I know you can't see Ganondorf, but he's up there. So Wind Waker was one of the so I said Link to the Past was the first one I played, and then when we got a GameCube, we rented Wind Waker a couple times before we actually bought it. So I think that might have been the first 3D Zelda I played. I do kind of stand by the statement that the first Zelda game you play is probably going to be your favorite. Not out of principle, just out of practice. This was the first one that I owned and beat, and I played a lot. Overall, I never minded the fact that, you know, there was a lot of water and you had to go from place to place, because you were always thinking about what you wanted to do next, and that gave you a little opportunity to breathe, as it were, and take in the environment and say, oh, what's over here? Because you knew there was going to be one thing in each square. So you say, okay, I found it in this square, let's go to this one. And so it was kind of a fun experience, but I mean, yeah, there were some problems, like the whole Triforce thing that they fixed in the HD, but that doesn't stop it from being one of my favorites. I guess I did miss a couple games, but I'll go over the ones I have digitally at the end. I don't know which one comes first, but here is the Minish Cap. I don't have anything really special to say about this game. I just have the game. No collector's guide, no box. This game was made by Capcom, and that's an interesting thing when Nintendo doesn't make a game themselves. Although Capcom is a pretty respectable developer, so I mean, they did a good job with it. Capcom also made the Oracle games, which I'll talk about later. But yeah, it was quite fun, and I do like any game that has Toon Link in it, for the most part. I'll get to that actually right now. Four Swords Adventures. Yeah, I don't like this game. There are a lot of reasons I don't like it. First of all, you have to have a Game Boy Advance and a GameCube to advance a link cable for every person who wants to play. Except if you're playing by yourself, but playing by yourself is not fun. It's like the whole idea is you can play with 4 characters and do all these things that need separate characters, but if you're playing by yourself, you're basically in a formation the whole time, unless you need to split up, so it just kind of feels like one character. Also, I think it corrupted my memory card. Now, I don't know if it was this game or if it was just that I messed it up when I got this game, but either way, I never finished it. It just did not have my interest at all. Okay, so I don't know exactly what game comes next, if it's Phantom Hourglass or Twilight Princess, but we're gonna go with Twilight Princess. So here we have the Nintendo Selects version of Twilight Princess. I have the Nintendo Selects version because I don't know, that the other one was always way too expensive. And then here's the HD one. Man, this box art is just so nice, isn't it? And this came with Wolfie. And we also have 2 of the Smash Bros. Amiibos. Ganondorf, which I love this amiibo, it's very awesome. And the Link one as well. which was my first amiibo I ever got. So I found out my camera only records for 10 minutes, so that's why there's all these cuts, but I mean, that's okay. So now that we have this all set up, I can talk about it. So when I first played Twilight Princess, I played it on the Wii, had the motion controls, which, to be honest, I'm not so much of a fan of. They're better in Skyward Sword because they actually meant something, whereas in this game it was just shake to swing. There was no like depth to the angles or anything like that. But when I played it for the first time on Wii, I thought it was not bad, but it kind of didn't really impact me so much. But let me tell you, with the HD version, I really liked it. And it might be because the world was flipped that it felt like a new experience. But there's just something about it that I don't know, like it really caught my attention. And it really did leave an impact on me, and I don't know where this stands in terms of my favorites now. So I have a video which is my top 10 Zelda games, which I made a long time ago. And I've always thought I should do something about that because I don't agree with the opinions anymore. But I would need to go and replay all the games, I think, to be able to make a new ordering, which I don't really want to do. But either way, I think this game definitely is better than what I said about it the last time. I think it might also be because of the Wii graphics, how they're kind of muddy, whereas the HD one really spiced things up a lot. I mean, you can even just tell in the two box arts like how much more life the HD one has. This definitely is a good game. I'm happy they remade it. I really am. Okie dokie. What is next? See, I put out everything on my bed, and so my bed was completely full like a couple minutes ago. So I'm just kind of going over and see what the next game is. I think it is the DS one. Yes, it is indeed the DS games. So I'm just going to put them both up at once. Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. I presume that I played Phantom Hourglass first, but I can't remember. I might have played Spirit Tracks first. I know that I got Spirit Tracks on Christmas, the year it came out, which I guess was 2009. Might not have been the year it came out, but that's when I can't remember. By the way, okay, I'm sorry everything's so dusty, but I have this little Phantom Hourglass Link figure here. Got that at the dollar store. There was like little capsules with Phantom Hourglass, and I could look in and see Link's shield, so that's how I knew I was getting a Link. It's supposed to be the same pose as that. Spirit Tracks was one of, if not my favorite Zelda game. Not my favorite, but one of my favorites for a long time. I think it was because I actually owned it, whereas a lot of other games I owned later. I don't know if that makes sense, but like Wind Waker was one of the first ones that I owned, and then Spirit Tracks, I think, and then I started getting more from there. I still think it holds up, honestly. The whole train atmosphere, it makes it relaxing when you travel, similar to Wind Waker. Especially the music. The overworld music is just heavenly, you know? It's not stressful like a boat where, you know, you can go anywhere and you're not sure where you have to go, and you don't know where things could be, and enemies can pop up literally anywhere. On the train, you have a set path, and you know where you can go, and when enemies show up, they show up, and you might be expecting them in a certain location. Like, for example, at this corner, I expect an enemy will show up. And you can look for bunnies and catch bunnies, and it doesn't have the Temple of the Ocean King, which Phantom Hourglass did. So overall, like, I think Spirit Tracks it's a really good game, and it holds a special place for me, I think. Phantom Hourglass not so much, but still quite enjoyable. Okay, we are getting close-ish to the end. So next we have Skyward Sword. Oh, you can definitely see me there. So Skyward Sword. I also have this, which is the reserve paper from Walmart. I still kept this. So this is void, because I asked him if I could keep it, and he's like, sure, but he wrote void on it. And I always remember, because I didn't get the bundle. There was one of those for that, and there's one of those for the bundle. And I think as a kid, I was like, oh, I don't need an extra Wii remote, but nowadays I would never do that. We also have Skyward Sword Link Amiibo, which is, I think, one of my favorites of the newer Link amiibos. So this is first print run, which means it does come with the CD. So I seem to have a streak of liking games which people complain about. Examples include Kid Icarus Uprising and Star Fox Zero. I really like those games. And Skyward Sword is another one which people say, oh, motion controls, ooh, Fi guiding you and holding your hand, but I really like it. I don't know what to tell you. I think the art style is like a great mix between Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, which Breath of the Wild also kind of seems to be in the same hybrid. Music was all orchestral, which is very nice. And like I was saying, for Twilight Princess, the Wii Remote functionality seemed necessary and relevant, like it actually did something. With the Deku Babas, you would have to swing them in a certain direction in order to kill them, horizontally or vertically, stuff like that. Overall, I thought the story was great too. It was yet another intros, I know, like yet another first game in the series. But so around the 2010 era was when I really started to keep track of what games were coming out in the future. Before that, it would be like, oh, a game is out, okay, because I was still a kid, right? I would just be like, okay, I'll go get it, or I'll ask for it for Christmas. But now that I could start buying games myself, I started caring about which ones were coming out. Skyward Sword was the first Zelda game when I was like, alright, I'm gonna get this. And I know it was a Sunday, and I had to go to school the next day, but I played it anyway, even though I wasn't supposed to. So this definitely has some great memories for me. Actually, I don't know what else I really want to say about it. It's just really one of my favorites. Okay, this is recording part 4, so I hope that I can finish it in this last part. So let's go. First of all, we have The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. The only other thing I have for this is some posters, which posters are not easy to show, but I'll show like 2 of them at the end. So this game I've beaten twice. Once when I first got it, and then another time just for fun. Definitely really good. I think that it does a lot of things well, and that it does for the first time, which is the any order idea. Yeah, I definitely think this game is great, and I like it a lot. Okay, and now we have Hyrule Warriors. Ha ha ha. So, I don't know why I did that. So if you watch my Wii U collection video, I talked about this game a lot, so I'm just going to touch on it quickly here. I've put in so much time into this game. I've played it so long. I know I just said that. But it's really awesome. It's the first Dynasty Warriors type game that I played. And now I've played 3 because I decided that I like it because of this. And all the new characters and costumes and all that stuff is just very appealing to me. That's the kind of game I like with one core gameplay style and a lot of content. And this showed me that that's the kind of game I like. Definitely very awesome. And I don't have the 3DS one because I feel like I would need to play it all again, and no thank you. Okay, so we are now at the last physical game that I own. Hopefully you should know what it is, because it just came out a couple months ago. Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Definitely I cannot show this on screen. Can I show the name? That's all I need. Yes. Special edition. Edition Spéciale. So, I mean, you probably know what's in this. If not, there's tons of unboxings, but I can't fit it on the screen. There's also the case here, the Sheikah Slate case, which I'll put right here. And we have Archer Link, who's going to be shooting right at you. So, Breath of the Wild, which I could not remember the name when they announced it, like Breath of the Wind, but maybe a lot of people were like that. Let's just say that I like this game, but I don't think it's as good as everyone says it is. I find the narrative to be quite weak, honestly. The characters, there's not a whole lot of them, and they don't have like they have their own distinct personalities. Like Rivali's like, oh, boastful. Mifa's all shy. Like, they're very distinct. the fact that you can just kind of run to the end of the game and beat it just like that seems a bit strange to me, because they let you do anything you want. The content is in little tidbits here and there. In terms of the whole story content, there's not too much to it. Now, they could change that with the DLC, I suppose, because I did buy the DLC, but time will tell, honestly. So when I did play this, my evolution was when I started like, oh man, oh look at all this stuff you could do, oh geez, oh okay, I'll go over here, okay now I'll go over here, oh, okay, yeah, oh, the Zoras, oh, some actual characters, okay, cool. So I do the first Divine Beast, oh, I see. And then I started to realize that there was like a pattern in everything. With the Divine Beast, even the way that they say it in the temple, it's like, oh, the Divine Beast killed me. Okay, you better go find a map. Okay, you find the map. Okay, so now you gotta hit these 4 checkpoints. Like 4 to go, 3 to go, 2 to go, 1 to go. Okay, you got them all, now fight the boss. There was just a couple of things that I noticed along the way, and that was one of them. And then at some point I was playing the game, and I just said, I kind of want to just beat it now. Like I didn't feel like doing anything else anymore, so I just went and beat the game. And then the final boss wasn't that great. I felt like it kind of left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth at the end. So, I mean, obviously it's a good game and all, and I'm not trying to say that it is, but it didn't blow me away too much. Alright, so now I'm going to show a couple more things. Just because I'm done the games doesn't mean I'm done the vid. So I'll go back to my 3DS here. So I did show Zelda 1 and Zelda 2, but there's also Link's Awakening, which is a pretty fun game. I did enjoy it the first time I played it. A little bit more than I expected to, honestly. Oracle of Seasons, which I didn't like. I don't know what it was, but it felt like a rip-off of Link's Awakening, and it wasn't my favorite. And there was one like desert part which I could not figure out for the life of me. Oracle of Ages, I'll be honest, I completely forgot I had this. And I started making the video and I remembered, so I haven't played it. Mishcap I talked about. And the Four Swords Anniversary Edition. Nice that it was free, but not a whole lot there, honestly. We have this little Nintendo Power Zelda book, which talks about all the games. We have this little Skyward Sword comic thing, which is pretty cool. And then the Beast, Hyrule Historia. It's a massive heavy book. Again, you can probably look up other videos of that online. That's pretty much it, so I'm going to show you 2 more things which I'll need to move the camera for. So I said I would show you some posters, so here's one of them, the 20th anniversary one. I got this from Club Nintendo with a couple other ones, but this is the only one that one of the 2 that I have framed currently. If you look up the Club Nintendo Zelda posters, you can see the other ones. I think this one actually had a misprint on one of the posters, and so they sent another one. I can't remember if it was this set or another one, but one of them did. So yeah, this is really awesome. And the other one's over here, the Wind Waker poster. Just the HD art of the game. Pretty dang cool, honestly. See, Wind Waker HD shirt. So it says Wii U Zelda Wind Waker HD. So let me just this is something I won in a contest. One of the only contests I've ever won. It was on Twitter. I like PAX Prime, I think at the time. They were giving these away. You had to answer like a Zelda question. It was when the game was coming out. And it's way too small for me, so I've never worn it other than to try it on. But yeah, one of the collectibles that I'm really happy to have. So this has been my Zelda collection video. Thank you everyone for watching. This is kind of the little setup I made here with everything. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know what you think. Or if you didn't enjoy it, also let me know what you think. yeah, hopefully you saw some things that you thought were pretty cool, and let me know what your favorite Zelda game is, and you can talk in the comments if you like. So thanks again, and this has been Blairbot. See you next time.